I grew up in St. Helena, California, which is a really small town in Napa County, California. It's hard to name just one influential person in my life. I would have to say that all four of my grandparents have a huge impact on me. All four of them immigrated to the United States from the Cape Verdean Islands, and they brought their two huge families here, and they had to create a whole new life. They had to learn the language, and I'm sure that, America, coming from a country where, everyone looks like you, and then coming to a small town like St. Helena, where everyone's predominantly white, must have been a huge culture shock and change for them. But, they really worked hard to create a life for their children, my parents, and really to just give us, me and my sisters, and our cousins the best life possible. Well, I've always been interested in marketing. I graduated from Eckerd College in 2017 with a BA in communication and minors in journalism and marketing. So I worked for a small marketing agency in St. Petersburg, Florida, right after I graduated from college. And then I moved to California about 2 years ago, and since moving here, I've been working for OctoClean. So when I hear Black History Month, I think that it's definitely a cause for celebration, and there's a lot of really great, impactful leaders that deserve to be honored and remembered. But I think it's also important to recognize that there's still a long way for us to go. I think that while racism may not be so in your face and direct, it's definitely still something that many people deal with, not just Black people, but people of all different colors. And it's a subconscious thing, right? It's something that people, it's what people say and what they do without even realizing that they're being maybe racially insensitive. Sometimes people will say things and it kind of makes you kind of like turn your head a bit like, what do you mean by that? One example, one of my friends told me one time, well, you're not really Black. And I think that she meant, the way that I act maybe and the way that I speak or behave, but what is being Black, right? Like everyone's different, right? We can't look at stereotypes and put people in boxes of this is how you're supposed to be, this is my vision of all of this race, right? Everyone who's Black acts this way. That's not true for anyone, not white people, not Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, everyone's different. So Black leaders that inspire me, definitely Frederick Douglass. He did a lot for Black people. Among the things that he did was really fought for our citizenship within America. And then obviously Madam C.J. Walker, she's the first self-made female millionaire. And she was able to do so by creating her own hair care line. And she created her own hair care line because she wanted to sell someone else's products and she didn't fit the description. She didn't have fair skin and she didn't have, a finer hair texture, and so she was told she couldn't do it. So what did she do? She created her own product and she sold it better than them. She became a millionaire. I think that with struggle comes beauty. So I think that, Black people are resilient. They're beautiful, they're powerful, and I feel like a lot of Black people feel like they have to go above and beyond or work harder, outwork the people around them. And I definitely feel the same, not just being Black, but also being female. I feel like people have their expectations of me, and that sometimes those expectations are low because they don't expect much from me, but then once they, sit down and get to know me and they're like, oh, they go, okay, she's got it. She knows what she's talking about. In certain circumstances, I'm a bit more cautious of, what I say and how I act because I feel like people are looking at me from a different lens. So it definitely influences like my everyday behaviors. It's an awareness that you have, but, I try not to let it, impact me or make me, change my decisions. I still want to be myself and I still want to, be who I want to be and do what I want to do, so. My advice for Black people in the corporate world is to be confident and know what you bring to the table. If we could all just use a little bit more empathy, I think, just more love to go around is better. I think it starts with everyone on the individual level, right? If everyone takes the time to educate themselves, pick up a book or just learn something new about someone else or someone within a different culture, learn a little bit about, life through someone else's lens and perspective, I think that we'd all be better as a whole. So I think that that's what I would say, is that everyone should just educate themselves.